Hello everyone, welcome to today's edition of Fintech News. I'm your host, Nicholas Bellevaux.
I'm Pascal Van Vinendal.
And today we have a big day of Fintech News. We have 6 topics we want to cover, so we'll try to do it efficiently. We're going to start by speaking about what's happening in the UK, with 1 million users now using open banking. Wealthsimple just up to 2.4% their interest rate. Catalyst Fund raises 15 million. Flutterwave raises 35 million. Mogo's carbon offset program, and you'll also cover guidelines for trading crypto in Canada. So a lot to cover, a lot of exciting stuff this week. We'll kick it off with the UK. So yesterday it was announced that now over 1 million people are using open banking in some way, shape, or form. So following the Second Payments Services Directive, so PSD2, which essentially is the backbone of open banking in the UK, which came out in 2018, now over 1 million people, so consumers and SMBs are directly able to access their financial data, leveraging that for third parties to be able to communicate. So we just spoke about last week how Plaid was acquired by Visa, which in a way enables open banking processes by giving consumers access to their financial data to be scraped by fintech companies. But in the UK now, you're able to do that connection seamlessly. So it's really interesting because in the last 6 months, the number of people using open banking doubled, and we just see that trend going really skyrocketing. And it's just going to be great because the whole idea behind open banking is to give greater convenience to the user, giving them access to their financial information to have better services and products.
Yes, to a cost that is very less, to reduce the cost, There were an article this week on the Canadian press talking about banking and how open banking can help Canadians to save money, to have better choice on their investment when they are financing the mortgage, etc. And the journalists were pushing, said, "Hey guys, Canada, we need to move to the right direction. I know that the government are working on it. Politicians are working on it inside the government, but the problem is people are not really aware in Canada."
Right, and I think this 1 million user mark is pretty important because now there's a good case study at least that we can compare ourselves to. Obviously with Open Banking Canada, PSD2 will be studied to see how it could compare and how it could be implemented here in a different way, shape, or form. But this mark, I think, shows that 2020 will really be a foundational year for open banking. Now that it has some important traction, see what plays out.
It's huge. Open banking, to give you a number, it's almost 40 countries all over the world who are looking at open banking. You can see how big it will be.
Yeah, that should be really cool. Next, some fun news out here in Canada, Wealthsimple.
Yes, Wealthsimple, amazing news. Wealthsimple design a product that it's a spending account and a saving account. 2.4% on your checking account. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I'm very excited.
It's really cool. And as I just checked, I'm with Wealthsimple for their what was their savings account, and they actually just augmented it. The spending is not available just yet, but they already applied the increased interest rate. So before, what they were known for was saving accounts at 2% interest, but now it's been automatically upped to 2.4%, which is unheard of.
Yes. Do you know that, in fact, I didn't know that, but Wealthsimple weren't allowed because we have strict regulation to open the checking account. They partner with 2 financial institutions. The names are not disclosed, but now they are able to offer checking account, no fees, no low. When you need a minimum
Right.
amount that you need to have your account,
a balance.
there is no minimum amount, and you will get platinum prepaid metal card. It's amazing, and they announced that in the future, you will have no foreign transaction fees. And you will have something else that's very
ATMs.
cool. Yes, ATM. Yes, the ATM is very cool.
It's hard to now distinct them from. Is it a neo bank? They were really just like a fintech startup, and now the lines are being blurred a bit. Really interesting move. The card looks amazing. It's very a la Apple Card or the Metal Coho card. but much cheaper.
Yes.
So it's free. It's just going to be. So we both signed up, and we'll keep you posted on what comes with that. In other news, Catalyst Fund. So you might not have heard of them. They're a fund whose mission is to promote financial inclusion. They're based out in the United States. They're supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they just raised $50 million thanks to JP Morgan and UK Aid to support 30 fintechs located in Asia, in Latin America, and in Africa. So essentially it's a cohort of 10 startups for a duration. They'll be supported for 6 months over the next 3 years. Where really they're trying to make fintech more popular in these countries where financial inclusion is much lower than in the developed world. So it's just a really interesting initiative. They actually bring them into the US. They get really good support for 6 months. And it's just interesting to see why there's this interest also from these US companies to support it there. Is it just benevolent? Who knows? But looking at what's going on in these other markets is really interesting to see how what these 30 startups, who they will be, what they're going to focus on, and where they're placing their bets.
Yes, and what you can see on the report was published on the news. JP Morgan don't invest directly in Africa,
No.
And through this way, they are able to invest in fintech startups. Yeah. And what is very interesting, it's more than 50% of the cohort are entrepreneurs from Africa.
Yeah.
Meaning that African market, it's a big market. Already when I speak to people, I said, fintech, it's all over the world, but it started when it get popular when people in Asia, Africa, didn't have a way to have a checking account, saving account, and thanks to mobile
payments.
Yes, mobile payments, their mobile phones, they are able to have this able to get a loan, etc.
And speaking about payments in Africa, the next news, Flutterwave raised $35 million in a Series B. So their main product is a B2B payments company, but from checking them out, I've never heard of them before. They really do a lot in the payment space. Online checkout is one of their flagship products to be able to integrate a payment solution into Commerce's website. They also do card issuing. They have a prototype now in beta testing for a POS, so similar to what Lightspeed's doing, and really diversifying in the payment space to really be the leader in Africa for anything that has to deal with payments. And they're dealing with some big names. Visa's a partner. They're in charge of the payments for Uber there. When Cardi B came to do a concert in Africa, they were the payments provider. So yeah, that's another example. This is a pretty hefty now fintech startup out of Africa.
That's very interesting to facilitate payment.
Well, it's the biggest vertical here in Canada, right? But throughout the world, it's an important one as well.
It's very cool. I will talk about Mogo. I don't know if you know Mogo, but it's a fintech startup based out of Vancouver. They are in credit scoring, also wealth management and investment, and they just opened a saving account where you can contribute to the benefit of the environment. When you buy something, when you buy something, there is a footprint on the environment and organic CO2. And now, thanks to Mogo saving account, you get a prepaid Visa Platinum card, and you are able to spend. You get some cash back, 1.5% on domestic purchase, and 3% on outside of Canada.
Okay.
And every time that you spend $1, they compensate with 1 point of CO2. They compensate, meaning that you try to reduce your carbon footprint due to your consumption habit.
That's an interesting way of tackling it. And that's another example of an interesting fintech product, right? Because yes, it's dealing with payments or even investments, but how it could also have a positive social impact through it, or here in this case, an environmental one.
It's very cool.
And lastly, in Canada, we have some new guidelines for trading crypto.
Yes, the Canadian Security Administrator published a set of guidelines to explain how security all crypto are apply against security. Before it was very vague. We didn't know what was
the
about.
legislation
You
was.
know,
Okay.
you are trading a platform in crypto. Is it security? Is it considered security or not? No, it's more clear. The guideline is very clear. If you are a platform and if you are doing any derivative contract of asset, you are under the security guideline.
Okay.
If you are just providing a services to buy a Bitcoin and to transfer directly to the wallet of the user, you don't need to comply with the security policy.
Okay.
Before it was very vague and some platform didn't know where to comply.
Sure.
And now it's
You have a
quite clear.
centralized place, and
Yes.
you have a
If the platform keeps the crypto, like for example some platform Binance,
Coinbase.
they have to be under the security guideline.
Cool. So
If you are like another, for example, marketplace like Bull Bitcoin here in Montreal, you build Bitcoin, you buy, and they transfer directly to your wallet. They don't have to comply with this guideline.
So it's for holding. Okay, interesting. Well, that wraps up our big fintech news of today. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll be right back after with the French version.
Yes, and next week I will be in Paris Fintech Forum. If you want to meet us, I will be more than happy to see you at Paris Fintech Forum next week.
And maybe you'll come in live from Paris to show us a bit about what's happening over there.
Yes, let's
Cool.
do it.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you next week.
Have a good day. Bye.